Um, Here's the deal. I think that because he was an underdog, I'm just going to say this because he's a Mexican fighter and they have a really big fan base and they're going to go for their guys. Nothing but respect to them. You know what I mean? But when I'm talking boxing, I want to talk logic. Like we can put the bias BS to a side. What did you think? I know you're from this tribe. I know these are your people. Cool. I don't care about that. What did you think? Why did you score this round this way? Why did you score these rounds this way? That's what I'm on. We like I just want to leave the bias at the door. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. I did not think that last night's fight was a robbery at all. I don't think that it was a robbery at all. I think what happened was, I think that us as humans, we have preconceived notions of pretty much anything. I think the fact that Tank wasn't fighting Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, even though he's a weight division below, or Devin Haney, or maybe even Ryan Garcia, because he wasn't fighting one of those names. I think that not everybody, but I think that there's a sect of fans that don't like him already because of that, and they may not like him because they have tribal bias as well, right? I mean that's been prevalent in boxing since boxing has existed, so that's nothing new. But the outrage, I think, a lot of the times is premised from that. You know what I mean? I think it's premised from that a lot of the times. So you kind of have to gauge and make sense of what everybody's saying, right? So Twitter's going crazy, YouTube is going crazy, Instagram, everybody's going crazy. But you have to you have to have a mind of your own, right? You can't just judge things and go off of what everybody's saying just to get accepted. Um, and I think that's the best way to go in life in general. However, let's get into it. So I think I scored the fight, and again, I could be out to lunch on this, but I'm going to try to make as much sense of it as possible. I scored the fight 116 to 112 for Gervonta Tank Davis, and I'm gonna just stay silent for a little bit because I know everybody just going. I'm gonna let y'all hold that for a second. All right, back. So the reason I scored that like that was because of this. I think that Isaac Cruz came in last night to the Staples Center and made he represented himself, his family tremendously last night. Like like no words that I can say can describe how he's upped his stock last night, even in a loss. You know what I mean? Because Tank was such a heavy favorite. He was coming in on a late, on a late pitch or whatever. But his style, his heart, his will, and his skill created it gave us a battle to watch and commentate on and make content about, to discuss why we scored the fight, how we scored the fight. So I gave 8 rounds to Tank and I gave 4 rounds to Cruz. You could argue that you could give 7 rounds to Tank and 5 rounds to Cruz. I just don't see enough evidence for a draw. I don't think that it was me personally, right? And that's what I want to get home to everybody. Don't judge rounds to try to appease everybody. How did you see the fight? Don't try to appease nobody. How did you see the fight? You know what I'm saying? I saw the fight 8-4 first watch. I'm going to watch it again tonight after I get off work, and I'm gonna try and score it again. From a second viewer's perspective. I gave Tank 8 rounds. I think that a lot of the rounds were really competitive. Cruz had a lot of good work. He had a lot of good body work. He was busy in spots where Tank was on the move or trying to get on the move. You know what I mean? And he created this awkwardness. And I thought that was a very good game plan for him, given his stature, given his physical abilities, him being a shorter guy, even though Tank's a really short guy, him being a shorter guy, he had that high peekaboo style. He was moving side to side. It was kind of hard for Tank to get his timing and his rhythm down. He got it. He got the rhythm down in the second round. I thought I gave Cruz the first round. Tank got his rhythm down in the second round, but Cruz added more lateral movement and a little bit more quirkiness and awkwardness to it, to his already awkward style. And so throughout the fight, Tank had to readjust and regather his rhythm. You know what I mean? Here's the deal. I think that because he was an underdog, I'm just going to say this, because he's a Mexican fighter and they have a really big fan base and they're going to go for their guys. Nothing but respect to them. You know what I mean? But when I'm talking boxing, I want to talk logic. Like we can put the bias BS to a side. What did you think? I know you're from this tribe. I know these are your people. Cool. I don't care about that. What did you think? Why did you score this round this way? Why did you score these rounds this way? That's what I'm on. I just want to leave the bias at the door. I want to leave when it's time to judge rounds. Listen, we're all from we all got our tribes. We all got our people. We all got our countries. Leave that at the door, and let's really get into it with logic, right? I just don't see how you could score this for Cruz. I think people are trying to make a point for Cruz, again, because of the points that I made. He was the underdog. He's a Mexican fighter. They got a really big fan base, and if this fight was not even just close, if this fight was anywhere near competitive, which it was, if this fight was competitive, I knew that they were going to say it was a robbery. I knew that because of the given circumstances, because he was he came in on a late pitch, because he was a big underdog, because he's smaller, and because he has a very crowd pleasing style. So you add those four elements in there, it's going to cause disaster for the scoring, because fans are gonna they're going to gauge their outcome on these things. I need you not to go off emotion. I need you to go off logic, right? Let's root for our people. I'm cool with that. Let's root for our people. Let's root for our people. I'm fine with that. But when it comes at the end of the day, when we're sitting down and we're talking, all right, tribalism aside, what happened? That's what I want. That's all I want. Tribalism aside, what happened? I think once we can get through that, we good money. We're good money. We're good money. It was a very entertaining fight, right? Like Cruz hit Tank with a lot of good shots, a lot of good body shots. You know what I mean? He went upstairs. He varied everything, just like Tank varied everything. I thought Tank had excellent moments in this fight. I think they both did. I love the shotgun jab and uppercut. Outside of the jab, period, that's my favorite punch, the uppercut. So I thought that given his style, given Cruz's style, that high peekaboo guard, moving side to side, I thought that he was susceptible to a lot of shotgun jabs, a lot of straight punches. Tank was looping a lot. I think that's just a natural thing for fighters, just to hook off. But I think straight punches, shotgun jabs to the body, I think that would have been very prevalent on the night. Another element added was that Tank hurt his power hand, his left hand, in like the 5th or 6th round. So that added another element to the fight as well. So we got to be mindful of that. It was a lot going on. So he couldn't. So Tank couldn't vary his He couldn't vary. He was varying his attack, but he couldn't get the pop he's used to getting from his power hand because he hurt it. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, man, it was a really good entertaining fight. It was a very crowd pleasing fight because there was a lot of heavy shots thrown by both men. I don't know if either was hurt. I will say this. I think they may have hurt each other. Not they, they might not have been like, super hurt, but I think they've definitely rung each other's bell. And it may have been from both hitting each other with body shots. You know, historically in boxing, the way you beat a power puncher is going to his body. Historically, you know what I mean? For whatever reason, power punchers, like if you look at Keith Thurman, if for whatever reason power punchers are susceptible to great body shots, for whatever reason, but it's definitely a thing. It was a good fight. It was a very action packed fight. I just think that I want to end this video with this. I want you guys not to judge fights based off emotion and bias. It's okay to be tribal. That's fine. But when it comes to judging the rounds, let's be better. In boxing, let's be better. You know what I mean? Um, awesome fight. I would love to see Cruz fight again. Tank is the name, so that goes without giving. You know what I mean? But I would love to see Cruz fight again. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I've seen him fight before on an undercard. I forget whose, but he's gotten much better since then. You know what I mean? Awesome style. Very fun. I mean, his moniker is the Pit Bull. So come on, you already know what time it is with him. Tank. Cambosos next. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Haney next. But I think these guys got to get together and they got to make these big fights. They got to make these big fights. Enough. They got to start fighting each other. You know what I mean? This was a good fight. It was an unexpected good fight. It was and again it was on a late pitch. Due to the Rolly pullout situation. But yeah. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section though. And again, let's not judge these fights based on emotion. Let's go with logic. All right? Peace.